Scott Peterson's decision to place himself at the Berkeley Marina on the day Laci Peterson disappeared is one of the most puzzling aspects of the case, especially considering that Laci was later found in the San Francisco Bay near where he claimed to have been fishing. Here's a breakdown of how his alibi connected him to the crime scene and why he might have taken such a risky approach. On December 24, 2002, the day Laci was reported missing, Scott told investigators he had spent the morning fishing at the Berkeley Marina. Months later, in April 2003, Laci and her unborn son Connor were found ashore in the San Francisco Bay, not far from the Berkeley Marina, where Scott claimed he had been fishing. By admitting he was at the marina, Scott inadvertently placed himself near the location where Laci would later be discovered. This made his alibi highly suspicious. Why would Scott place himself close to the crime scene? Scott may have believed that if he volunteered his location at the marina, it would make him seem more credible and cooperative. Admitting to being there would preempt any evidence, placing him at the scene and give him a better chance of controlling the narrative. He could also have been trying to normalize his presence in that area. By presenting his trip as an innocent fishing outing, it would seem less suspicious if someone later discovered he had been in the vicinity. Scott probably underestimated the thoroughness of the investigation or the likelihood that Laci would ever be found. If Scott had been at the marina for reasons related to the crime, he might have felt that he had no choice but to admit to being there, as any attempt to create a false alibi could have been easily disproven. Admitting to fishing might have seemed like his best option to avoid getting caught in a lie. Some criminals are overconfident in their ability to deceive law enforcement. Scott might have believed that his charm or calm demeanor could convince investigators that he was simply unlucky to have been in the same area where his wife was later found. It's a risky strategy and one that ultimately backfired on Scott Peterson. By placing himself near the crime scene, he gave investigators a critical piece of the puzzle that linked him to the crime. The proximity of his alibi to the location where Laci was found became a key factor in his conviction. The fishing alibi, combined with other inconsistencies and suspicious behavior, such as Scott making at least 3 trips to the marina a month after Laci disappeared and only staying less than 10 minutes each time, contributed to the perception that he was guilty. Scott Peterson's decision to place himself at the marina was likely a calculated but flawed attempt to create a plausible alibi. He may have believed that admitting to being there would make his story more credible, but instead it became one of the most incriminating aspects of the case against him.